All right. This is likely going to go on the YouTube channel. So, if you're watching over on YouTube, Viss Teaches number 4 is here, about to be brought to you right now. We're actually doing this live on stream. Chat, you want to say hello to YouTube? Say hello. If you're over there watching on YouTube, first off, give the video a thumbs up. Especially if the previous Viss Teaches videos have helped you. There's already 3 of them out, 3 episodes. This is episode number 4. All right, this is episode number 4. Drop a thumbs up on the video. Maybe leave a comment down below saying what you think of it. It helps the video out. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, maybe you just found this video, you found the YouTube channel, maybe you've watched multiple videos. Maybe you haven't. Maybe this is the first one you've watched. Regardless, hit that sub button, baby. That big red button. You see it over there. Bring the clicker over there, man. Bring the mouse and just bop that real quick. Also, if you don't want to miss any videos, turn on the bell, turn on the notifications for YouTube vids, and so you get those and you don't miss out. All right, let's jump into it. First off, boom. This was a pretty damn solid game that we just had. Let me make sure the volume's correct. I'm going to keep the volume a little bit lower so you can hear me talking during this. All right, let's go with the jump. The reason I'm jumping where I'm jumping, I'm going to be jumping to train yard. The reason I like jumping to train yard, you can get in there, you get to high ground above the carts, you can get gear easier that way. There's a lot of action that takes place below you. You can see that we take advantage of that during this game. A lot of the other teams are fighting, and I'm able to come in with a third party. But yo, like I say in other drop videos, if you want to get away from people, if you're looking to mainly just get loot, get out further away from the drop. The further you go, the less people there's going to be. The vast majority of people are usually going straight down, straight down to hot zones, or they're going to stay very close to the ship, to the drop. If you get out far away from it, it's far less likely to be around a lot of players. Sometimes it'll still happen, but often the odds will be in your favor. If you're looking to get involved, obviously you got Capital City off in a hot drop. You got the Sorting Factory off in a hot drop. Train Yard off in a hot drop. Yo, Acid Wreck, what's up, man? All right. So we're going to be jumping. We're going in. Something you should be considering when jumping in. I don't do it here because I'm talking to chat, but something you should be considering. Check your left, check your right, look around you, see where other teams are coming. That way you can adjust your flight path. You might be lining in between like 3 different teams. You can maybe go off a little bit, separate yourself, let those teams fight each other, then you're able to gear up, push back in, and take those teams out. Also, if you're a teammate of the person who's the jump master, also be paying attention. You should definitely be paying attention when jumping in. Don't be just lollygagging, you know? Be seeing what's going on around you. Maybe be relaying that to your team like, hey, we got 2 teams landing to our right. Team landed here, team landed there. Also, when you get towards the end, when you're going to be dropping in to get your loot, maybe split off a little bit from your team, not into another team, but split off a little bit. That way you're immediately getting loot along with your team right off the bat. If you all land in the exact same spot, you're all fighting over loot from each other. You're taking each other's loot. If you split up just a little bit, you all can get loot very quickly off drop and give yourself that added advantage over the other teams that might not have as much, or at the very least, you're even with them because you split up and you got enough loot. If you all land together, it's often a mistake that I see people make. So, we're going in. I end up getting the guns that I stick with the rest of the game right here. I go with the Prowler and I go with the Peacekeeper. Prowler, very good SMG. I would honestly argue that the 99 is better because it has better DPS. Where Prowler can win out, if you get the purple mag on it, if you get the select fire, you've got many more rounds to work with and a higher damage capability per mag. So you don't have to reload as much. You can knock people often with 1 hit. All right, so this guy right here, I don't know why. I don't know why he was going for the finisher. Maybe he was trying to replenish his armor, but he didn't get it off. Also, he still had armor, if you notice. Like, when I shoot him there, I break his armor. So it ended up being a very easy kill for us. Often, especially if this many people are around, doing a finisher this early, so damn risky. Wouldn't do it unless it's like, maybe you got a purple or a gold right off rip, and you're wanting to replenish that fully, then maybe it's worth a risk, but I think he only had white armor. Like, you're not gaining that much health, and you're putting yourself at such a high risk to get knocked, such an easy kill, that it's probably not worth it. Also, if I don't know if he did, but man, if our Cossack had an armor or just anybody around has an armor, you're just be better off running to their body, finishing them and finishing them with your weapon and taking their armor instead. So right here, I get the knock. Immediately, I'm paying attention. Where are the gunshots coming from? You know, where are the gunshots? Also, I'm listening to movement around me. You can see, like, I start firing at this guy just to get a little bit of damage at him. I knew it wasn't going to be a whole lot at that distance. But I'm hearing something to my left. As I'm shooting here, I'm hearing something to my left, and it sounds like someone climbing. I don't know if you could hear it. Maybe we can slightly back this up just enough. I don't know if it's going to be... Let's go right here. Wait, we went way too far. Holy shit. It's at 56:01. Okay. You hear? There's something to my left. I heard a Pathfinder swing. You also hear climbing. You hear that, like, slide? It was that slide that I had heard. So be paying attention. There might be someone climbing up on my left. If I tunnel vision, right? If I tunnel vision that Gibraltar as he's running out and I hear movement to my left, and especially if it sounds like someone's climbing, someone might be climbing up right behind these vents or over this wall. They'll laser me in the back. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to the sound around you so that you don't get shot. You know, you don't give them an easy kill. It's such an easy kill if someone's focused on somebody else, right? And they're shooting at them and you get their side. Man, you just line that up, obliterate them. So, I get the shot on the Pathfinder. He swings away. I wasn't able to get the shot on him in the air. I know that he's low and he's trying to get out of the fight. And I know immediately there's another team close by here, so I'm going to pay attention to them. If I just tunnel vision that Pathfinder and run after him, I'm going to get shot in the back, right? So fire at him and swap my attention to this team now. Next thing you know, I hear a res going on, right? You hear this res? You hear the res going on? So I hear the res. Always be paying attention to sound. Use it to your advantage. So I know that there's a res. What's that mean? 2 people are occupied now. One person's knocked. The other one's going for the res. If I push in right now, it's a 1v1. Also, worst comes to worst, they get him up. It's still going to take them some time. You're caught in that animation a little bit even after the person's initially resed. Go for the guy that just barely was knocked because you know he's already low. Get the knock on him and then swap over to the guy that just resed him, right? So I'm going to push in. See that they're barely inside the bubble. This other guy, he's looting. I can attack these guys real fast here. So I go in, immediately go for the Bloodhound, who just barely got res because I know he's still low. I was able to get him in the toes because he jumped my shotgun, surprisingly. This Gibraltar, caught off guard. Didn't expect us pushing in right then, most likely. So then it's like, I'm going to use this bubble to my advantage. I'm also paying attention. Now we have a guy to our right here. He's not on the same team. If this guy goes back outside the bubble, he's going to get attacked by him. So I'm playing inside the bubble. Let him walk back into my shotgun. Take him out. Then, okay, Lifeline's joined it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to position myself outside the bubble, but not in a position where I'm going to get shot by this Bangalore. On the other side, the Bangalore now moved, right? To our opposite. Pathfinder's in our face here. Take advantage of that. Use the shotgun. Get the knock. And then we're going to swap over to the Bangalore. Right here, I move myself closer to the stairs to make it so that this guy does not have an easy shot. So it's like, within a fight, paying attention to every little advantage you can get. Get outside the shield, not in a position where I'm going to get shot by the other team. Minimize how many people have an angle on you, right? Try to, and while that's happening, man, if you can get 1v1s, like I got a 1v1 with that Pathfinder almost there, right? Get the knock on him, get him out of the fight. So, get damage here. Realize that this Bangalore's low. I'm now going to move myself close to this staircase. Why? Because it's going to make it so this Bangalore has a really hard time and has to really over-peak me in order to get damage, or going to have to jump off the staircase. If I stay out here, I have to deal with the railing. He's going to get up to higher ground. But if I move underneath him, now he's like, okay, if I want to keep firing at this Pathfinder, he brings himself out of cover, right? So we get the hit, and we get the finish. Get out of my damn face! You could tell that I was pretty hyped. So now, looting up, getting some armor real fast. You know, I'm paying attention to sound heavily right now. Someone might be third-partying this. So even though I'm looting, and I'm grabbing all the stuff that I need, I'm paying attention to sound. If someone's going to be moving in, maybe I flip myself up on the roof. Maybe I flip myself down the tunnel. I'm going to go and grab this guy's beacon. Also, something that I could have done here, I could have grabbed this guy's beacon before we jumped off and got into the fight. Since he was already knocked out of it, I could have grabbed his beacon then. Then I wouldn't have to worry about grabbing it here. And that's something where if you record your gameplay, you can notice things like that.
Today,
You can notice things like that. Where, honestly, if I wouldn't have rewatched this, I wouldn't have really realized, hey, during that situation, I could have grabbed his beacon. So, in the future now, what I need to realize is, hey, whenever I'm next to a body of a person downed, if I have an opportunity right then to grab the beacon, let's grab the beacon right then. So that we don't have to worry about grabbing it later. That way, imagine I do get third-partied after that fight. Instead of having to worry about, fuck, I have to get my friend's beacon or my teammate's beacon, I can instead just say, hey, I'm just going to flip myself out. I'm going to run. I'll res them somewhere else. I'm going to use the Phoenix here to heal up. Don't want to stay on low HP. I saw this guy. Well, I didn't see. Because I didn't check the box. But I grabbed his heavy ammo there. He didn't have a weapon that could use it anyways. See the bot flying in overhead.
Like a falcon, damn. We swooped up in there. We bopped them all.
So I'm going to go and grab this bot after this.
Bopped every last one of them.
Still paying attention to sound because now someone's getting rezzed. So many teams love pushing rezzes, right? Whenever you res, you should expect a third party coming or a team pushing you. Almost always. Every single time that you go to res, be like, this is likely going to draw attention and the team is likely going to push. Here, waiting for the bot. Wait until it turns to gold. Every opportunity you get, you should always wait for it to turn to gold, right? Likely to get, you could get legendary helmet, legendary armors, backpacks. And also, since it's gold, you might also get purple items. And blue items. Just because it's gold doesn't mean that you're limited just to one gold item. You could get a gold item, you could get a purple, you could get multiple golds. Those bots sometimes can be extremely insane. Here, I'm letting my teammates know, hey, I need shotgun ammo. I want to ping this. That way, if they see any, they can ping some for me. Especially with the Peacekeeper right now. Like, Peacekeeper right now is nuts. It's super nuts. It's such a game-changer weapon at the current time in the meta. It's, what is it, November 11th? If you're watching this later on, some other time, maybe they've nerfed the Peacekeeper from now, changed it up a little bit. But currently, in the current meta, the Peacekeeper is nuts. It's one of the strongest weapons in the game. I would argue that you would maybe consider taking the Peacekeeper over the Mastiff because the fact that you can get a barrel choke on it, you can use it at range almost as a sniper. It often hits over 100 in close range right now, and you get 6 rounds per mag, or, per mag basically, with the Peacekeeper, where with the Mastiff you only get 4. Like right now, you could argue that the Peacekeeper is better than the Mastiff. Very easily. So I see this guy's up here. I decide not to shoot because I don't really want to grab attention. And then I'm kind of wondering to myself, can I get my zipline up here? So I'm testing it out, and you could get it to here. So I could have zipped up to this guy and flung up if I wanted to. That's very risky. One big thing to note, I think a lot of people know this, but man, when you're on a zipline, you're such an easy target, sitting duck. Even though I say a lot of people know that, I see so many people where it's like they try to zipline straight at you when you're going to have an easy shot on them. Or you're not being suppressed, or they haven't created a situation for them to push on a zipline. And when I see people do that often, where they'll take a zipline into a team and just get absolutely obliterated or lasered. When you're going straight at somebody, straight at a team on a zipline, such an easy shot, right? Just line it up and pull and hold down left click, and you can easily take them out. So don't make that mistake. Going across on a zipline, a little bit different, If you're traveling perpendicular to a team and you're jumping up and down, very hard shot to hit. But when you're going straight into somebody or very close to straight into somebody, you need to get an opening for you to actually be able to do that, to make that a decent play. Get some armor cracks. Have your other teammates firing at them, forcing them back from your zip line. So I'm paying attention here, and this is when I see what's happening. So if you paid attention, the Pathfinder swung himself off the pole onto the top cart or near the top cart. I then see this Bloodhound pushing, ulted, which I'm thinking to myself, likely this guy's teammate, right? This Pathfinder's teammate. He's alone right now. He's either alone or there's one other person with him. He's overextending. This is how you take advantage of these things. I tell my teammate, yo, let's focus this Bloodhound. Why? Because he's likely alone. He's pushing up. He's getting over-aggressive. We can all 3 collapse on him, make it a 3v1. So taking some shots at him here. Now he's being forced to back up, get him low. And I realize he's about 1 shot, so I'm going to push in. I'm going to go in. Paying attention to sound still. Seeing if anybody else is nearby. That's going to hopefully be my warning. So we're able to get the knock there. Easy knock, right? And then, still listening. Hear this Pathfinder. Also, something I'm doing here. Let me see. Let me try to get to the right spot for this. Okay. So, boom. What do you see here? What do you see? It's like, one, I'm listening. Where's this Pathfinder at? As I hear these gunshots, I'm trying to picture myself. Where is he around this wall? Is he up top? Is he down low? Is he on the staircase? And so, one, I'm trying to listen to the shots to figure out where he's at. Secondly, you can see his bullets right here. Him firing. So I know exactly where he's at. He's straight back in line with where this bullet is. So I can come around the corner and know exactly where this Pathfinder's placed at. And that can help you. Maybe if the bullet's coming down at an angle, you're like, oh, he's up top. You already know where he's at as you come around the corner. See that I get the armor crack. Something I talked about a lot about in the last Viss Teaches video. Be always tracking their armor and how much damage you're doing to them. Be tracking what their health is at. That way you can figure out what decision you want to make. Whether it's to push back up in a fight, where your team's at in a fight, right? When it comes to your team versus their team. If you know that a lot of them are damaged, a lot of them are low health, and a lot of your team's still high health, that can be an opportunity to push because you have the advantage in that fight. So I get the knock. I see that I do about, what was it, 80 red? 90 red? So it's going to go to 50. You break the armor. Then it's going to go about 40 more damage. So this guy's about like 60 HP, 50 HP around here, right? Come around the corner. Only have to hit 3 shots. We knew that he was low. Easily able to take him out. Still looking for shotgun ammo whenever I'm checking these bodies.
He gone. He gone.
I talked a lot about how I like to loot and how much ammo I like to have for my weapons. And, you know, like the amount of syringes, meds that I like to hold in the last Viss Teaches video. But really what I do like an even distribution for the most part. You know, I like to, if I'm using a Prowler, I want to have at least 2 to 3 stacks for that Prowler in my inventory. I'd like to have a stack of shotgun ammo for the Peacekeeper, minimum. I like to have at least a couple grenades. Like, I'd like to have at least 2 to 4 grenades with a smaller backpack size. If it's a great backpack, maybe only 2 grenades. Then I like to have at least like a stack of cells. I'd like to get a stack of batteries, preferably anywhere from like 3 to 9 batteries, depending on how big my backpack is, right? And then usually like either 1 stack of medkits or a stack of syringes. But I talk about that a little bit more in the last Viss Teaches episode 3. All right, so I'm about to push down the tunnel. I see that a team's ahead of us. In these tunnels, grenades are huge. Very, very useful, right? Very, very useful. Whenever you get into an engagement in small choke points, grenades are gigantic. It's a very important reason to take some grenades and have some grenades, because that can tip the fight in your favor in these tunnel situations heavily. So immediately, I'm peeking. I'm kind of judging what's going on here. I see we got 2 in the back. I see that we had this one guy on the side. So what am I going to do? I'm going to throw a grenade to the right, and then immediately I throw a grenade in the back, right? So I threw a grenade here and here. What am I doing? I'm holding them down in this area now. That's what I'm trying to do. You could either throw one in the back first, or maybe throw one in front. But often it's like, what's someone's initial reaction when a grenade flies towards them? Move the opposite direction, right? Throw a grenade in the front. They're looking to back up, then get away from that grenade. Put a grenade behind them. Now they're in between them, right? And now we can start lobbing grenades into the center. So we're keeping them pinned down a little bit, and so that the grenades are likely to hit them. So I threw one in the back. I threw one in front, and then I'm going to be dropping. I dropped one into the center of them. But that's something to realize. Something to realize with your grenades. Use your grenades together, right? So it's like if someone's going to retreat, or you don't want them to retreat, stick an arc star to a wall behind them, and then start lobbing them on top of them. What are they going to have to do then? They're going to have to push into you. You're forcing them to push into you, and you could be forcing them to push into you out of cover. So there's other ways to use your grenades other than just thinking, oh, I'm going to toss a grenade and hopefully it hits these guys. You can be using grenades to force people out of cover, to hold them in position, to pin them down. There's so many things that you can be doing. If you do work really well with a team on this, as teammates together, man, imagine you throw an arc star on the back wall, be like, hey, I'm going to throw an arc on the back. They know that they're going to throw one on the front, and you just start lobbing grenades in them. Like, you could easily just decimate a team in a choke point like this just by having 2 people on the same page with grenades. Now imagine you got a third on the same page with the grenades, right? If you work really well with your teammates, you could get to the point where you can eliminate squads with a few grenades very easily. So next thing I notice, we got the knock, right? I knew that I did a ton of damage with that one grenade. I knew that I had already done damage before that with my Prowler. I see that we get a knock. I'm pushing in now because I know that these guys are likely low. This is an opportunity. Look at my health. Still almost nearly full. You know, my teammates are really good. Both these guys are very low. Most likely don't even have shields, so I fling myself in. Looks like he was able to get maybe a couple heals off, or maybe he didn't take quite as much damage. But, hey, we're able to overpower this team. And what am I doing right now? Even though I'm looting, paying attention to sound. There could be other teams. Often people like to head towards this tunnel and the vault early, right? People get vault keys. They come running down here ASAP to try to open the vault. So pay attention to that. And also that's something to realize where people often like to travel during different points of the game. Early on, people get vault keys. It's very likely you might see another team at the vault. They hear people fighting by the vault. They think, hey, someone just looted this vault. I want to go and get the loot from these guys and third party them. So we're looting up here, grabbing all this, getting our weapons out. I think that it's No, I picked up shotgun ammo right here. I don't think I missed any. But I think this Bloodhound had some shotgun ammo. And I believe I grabbed all that he had. So I'm pushing down this. And now listen. This one we hear another team coming.
I could use that.
Actually, I'm good. I'm good if someone else needs that. Right there. Boom. You hear that? Hear the footsteps. Always be paying attention to sound. It's your first warning. So I hear the sound of the footsteps. I know a team is pushing down here. Immediately start pinging so that my team knows, yo, there's another team on the way. What do? I position myself close to this box. I'm going to ambush this team. By putting myself here, not making any sound after this, you know, if they're hearing the footsteps of our teammates further back, they might not expect me here, right? So I can get an easy first shot. Pinging some more, let my teammates know. Pop out, catch this Pathfinder off guard. I'm able to get 2 shots on him before he's able to fire at me. So, even able to fire at me. So I'm able to get his armor almost completely off. And then I'm judging what's happening here. Okay, we got a Pathfinder, we got at least one more. With the shotgun Peacekeeper, the advantage of the Peacekeeper is burst damage. Popping in and out of cover, right? So, pop in and out of cover here. Fire a shot, pop back in. Don't stay out of cover when you're reloading or like loading your next shot. I know that the Pathfinder behind is low, and he's either going to go to med, or he possibly might peek me back here. I kind of wait to watch and see if he's going to peek, and I'm able to get a good hit on him. I know that he's super low now, right? And while he's going to flip away, I've been tracking the damage. I knew that I already almost cracked his armor. I hit him for like, what, a 60, and then like a 30. This guy's almost 1 HP. So I know that all I got to do is hit one shot on him. So I went for an additional shot. But what happened is our teammate was able to get him as he was swinging away. I'm listening again. You can hear them going for the res here. So I'm going to go around the corner. I'm going to toss a nade on the res. And I was trying to do as much damage to that Pathfinder as I possibly could because I knew that he was still low. Because he just barely got rezzed up. His teammate wasn't able to move back. So get the knock on him. And I know that these guys are low now. I know that we've done a lot of damage through those shots there. I know my teammates did damage to him. I know that we hit him with a grenade. So I'm pushing in. I'm still at full HP almost. So we come around this corner knowing the fact that we're in a very good position to take them out here.
We ain't playing with you.
So that's why I go in. Now, if it was a situation where these guys, I knew they were both near full health, they had time to heal up, or like we seen that they healed up, they both had gold armor maybe, I'm probably not going to push that because you're pushing down an alleyway into these two guys. They can just peek you right there and obliterate you, especially if I push alone. But I know the situation. I know that the Pathfinder's low, almost on 1 HP, and I know that the lifeline likely isn't that high either from all the shots and damage that we were able to do. So I'm going to push around, and at first I was trying to get the knock on the Pathfinder, but I couldn't really do that. The lifeline was the first one that came to engage me. It was in front of the Pathfinder. The Pathfinder was kind of tucked away, harder shot. So focus the lifeline first. All right, now grabbing meds. Also, something I'm doing in this situation, even though I'm looting and I'm focused on looting, I realize what circle it is and the amount of time that I've got in between, like where my health is at and how long I can spend looting.
Punching a tunnel.
So I'm never going to run into those situations
Today is one of those days
where I'm going to end up dying to the zone. Maybe not never. Sometimes I might overlook it, not realize it. But it's always one of those things where, like, realizing the time that you have in the zone and your zone management with meds. Knowing that that was the first zone, it's not hitting us that hard. I'm, like, judging how fast we're going down per second. So I know that I've got roughly about this much time that I can wait before I need to hit one of my meds. Or before I need to run back into the zone. Alright, so here we're crossing the map. Let's take a little look-see at this. A lot of this stuff, when it comes to, like, movements, I do just, I would say almost, like, subconsciously now, when I'm looking at the circle. Like, obviously, if you push right, this is pretty, I would say this is pretty obvious, or maybe it's not, but it's like, yo, if you push right, you're going to have to go through this tunnel. You don't want to go through these tunnels unless you have to. You know, you don't want to have to maneuver into a zone through the tunnels. And then if you go further around that, you're going out around the mountain, and there's like a long choke, and you're moving into the backside of the circle. If you run into another team out there, you're dealing with the fact that you might get trapped outside the zone. You have to go all the way down that alleyway, basically that like natural alleyway between the mountain and like where the train tracks are. So you're kind of having to funnel yourself. Or if you go left, you have a lot more options to get into Skyhook. So immediately I just end up thinking to myself, I'm going to probably end up going left here into Skyhook rather than push myself through the tunnel and rather than push out around that.
I'm looking out for you, chat. I'm looking out for you, bro. All right?
I think we can jump ahead here a little bit in this because this is just us rotating. As I'm rotating, I'm paying attention. I'm looking left, right. Like there, you can see I was checking towards the tunnel. I was checking like the choke point coming down off the hill towards where the tunnel's at, seeing if I see any teams there. I'm checking common areas that teams travel and like to loot. That's often what I'm doing as I'm moving out across the map. And I'm looking in between that as well.
Power of that scream at full blast.
You know, over here, I'm checking, okay, is anybody by these crates? Is anyone on top of this building? Do I see anyone back here using the zip lines? You know, I'm glancing at all this stuff, seeing if I see a team anywhere around that area.
You didn't even know it, but I got it.
Here I go.
Then I'm going to flip myself up to high ground as I move around. This gives me a better view, you know, using Pathfinder's grapple to our advantage. Also shortens the distance for me to get in Skyhook here. Also, something I often get asked by people, which kind of surprises me, is, yo, Viss, how do you use Pathfinder's grapple? How do you grapple the ground and fling yourself? Yo, if you're asking any of those questions, just search on YouTube, Pathfinder Grapple Guide, right? And there's a bunch of different guides out there for Pathfinder. If you're looking to get better of him, if you're looking to get better of his grapple, that explains how his grapple works and how, like, momentum affects his grapple, so you can jump when you would connect your grapple to give yourself more momentum to fling yourself. A lot of people ask me about that, and it's just an easy thing. Just look it up on YouTube. There's tons of guides. You can educate yourself on how it works. All right, so I'm moving over into the town here. Let's boost the volume up a little bit. I think it's a little bit further here. Maybe we'll go 1.25 speed or something real fast through this area. Right there, I'm checking how much loot I have. Maybe what's something that I need to pick up. Seeing how many medkits I had. So up here, I'm like,
medkits.
Yo, does someone need medkits? Because
Roger,
I had 5 of them.
Does anyone need medkits in the group?
I had 5 medkits, so I don't really need 5. I only need about 3. Often you're gonna use way more shields than medkits because your shields obviously get damaged before your health. I'm not gonna likely go through 5 medkits, so I don't really need to be carrying that many. I'm gonna drop them and ping them for my teammates in case they want them.
Medkit here.
Right there, boom, there it was. You might have missed it. It might be hard to hear with this volume. Right there, gunshots in the distance, right? Always paying attention to gunshots. And I'm logging this in my head. I'm like, gunshots here towards the backside of this town, gunshots here. So it's like I know where different teams are at. And by knowing that and thinking about where these different teams are, you can then almost figure out, you know, with where the circle's going, how these other teams might end up playing, right? And so if you hear like a gunshot in the distance there, you hear another one very close to it, but almost in a little bit different position, you're like, realize maybe there's two teams fighting there. You hear multiple shots, pair of gunshots. Maybe you hear 2 shots in the back of town and more shots outside the town, and there's like tons of shots outside. Then you know maybe multiple teams outside the town, team on the back side of the town. They're likely going to have to push into the town here. They're going to end up fighting. So by knowing that, and knowing the sounds and where teams are positioned, you can almost figure out what their moves are and what's going to happen, how the game is going to unfold.
Gunshots far outside of the town. Are you ready to pursue?
Tell my teammates, yo, I'm going to be pushing this
I'll take your
basically.
silence as a resounding yes. Let's go.
So I'm paying attention to this as I push up, hearing these gunshots. I'm paying attention. How many squads are left? There's 4 squads left. 3 players per squad, 12 players. Every squad's a full team right now. So if you ever run into a team and you're like, oh, maybe this guy's solo, no. He probably has teammates in this situation. Also paying attention to the knocks. Who's getting the knocks? QN Pack just got a knock. Someone else had a knock. They finished the one guy off. They got knocked. So that those 2 guys, you now know by seeing that this guy just knocked this guy and then the other guy finished him. They're on the same team. Those guys are on the same team. Now you know that through the kill feed that these guys are playing together. So now if you see one of them get knocked, you realize that that's the opposite team of the team that they just got the knock on. Then you know that's a 2v2 situation likely. I see this Bangalore pushing away here. I immediately realized, okay, he's probably headed for the door. I tried to get the arc star on the door, but I came up short, and then I threw one inside. Also, something I know here. The guys are fighting on the far side. This Bangalore backed up. I'm thinking to myself, he might likely be healing. He's also likely going to be alone, because he's backed up in this fight. This gives me an opportunity. I can maybe get in here, catch him while he's healing in a 1v1 situation. When I get inside, it's a little bit different. There's already a guy in here. We see that this Pathfinder immediately. I'm going to engage the Pathfinder. End up getting the knock on him. Often people ask me, Viss, how do you control your recoil so well? You know, or ask, how do you control your recoil? How do you get better at controlling your recoil? It's through tons of practice, man. You got to realize I put thousands and thousands of hours into games with recoil patterns or like a type of recoil control, all the way from playing Arma 3 to a ton of PUBG to, you know, now Apex, many other games in between, Blackout, all these different games, right? The more you practice, the better you get, the better that you can get over time. It gets to the point where, like, you don't even think about controlling recoil. It just becomes muscle memory. You're just focusing on keeping your cursor or your sight on them. Also there, I'm just very focused, and I mentioned this in my last Viss Teaches video, but shoot the player with your eyes. Be so focused on them, man. Not overly focused to the point where you're tunnel visioning, not noticing anything else, right? Be still paying attention to sound and, like, using that as, like, a warning of other things going on, but very focused. You're literally shooting them with your eyes. Have your eyes glued to them, focus on the target, and then fire, you know?
One shot into the hallway.
That's another question that people often ask me. I mentioned the last one. I'll mention it again. I almost never will look at my reticle. I'm almost always looking at my target, at the player. So here we get pushed. And obviously this Bangalore in this situation is going to get me low. I'm going to move away from the Bangalore, trying to get myself into a better position. I realize I'm pretty low. I'm probably going to get knocked here. Trying to push myself back into a position where even if I get knocked, I can buy myself time, or maybe I can use my knockdown shield to stop this Bangalore from killing me. But the Bangalore, you know, our teammates are over here killing his friends, killing the rest of his team. I know in this situation that if I spare enough time, that I might be able to save myself and my teammates can help me. And I'm calling out to him, yo, there's a guy on me. Here, what happens? He stays very thirsty. He's trying to kill us. It makes it an easy kill for our caustic teammate here to come around, just get an easy shot in his back. So even though he gets the kill on me, I help my teammate by trying to keep myself alive and making it a harder time for this Bangalore to get the kill on me. Also, bad play by that Bangalore, man. If you're like so focused on getting the knock, your teammates are getting killed behind you. You give my teammates an easy shot on you. It's like, what was the purpose? Instead, stop firing at me. try to find my teammates. If you're able to get the knocks on them or kills on them, then you can come back and finish me off before I get the res off, right? Or you start fighting them, force them back as I start resing, then you kill me and you don't have to deal with the shield.
You
But instead,
bastard, I hope you die.
he did
Good
die.
work, bro. That's
He
what you
did
get,
die.
Bangalore. That's what you get for being an
All right,
idiot.
and then something to say here. These guys did such a good job here, man. My Caustic and my Wraith teammate, immediately, he grabs my beacon. Like, they're already full of health. They probably already have gear. You know, they don't have to really worry about grabbing a whole lot of stuff in this situation. There's only one team left in the game. So he immediately grabs my beacon, and he starts sprinting.
For being a giant dum-dum.
He starts sprinting
Shot in your
to the
back.
respawn. Also, my Wraith drops portal and goes and brings the portal over here. Not only that, but the Caustic then helps us out and is like dropping barrels around there in case it gets pushed. And drops a barrel inside the building that I didn't even notice. So it's like, even if the team pushed me,
Get in and get my gear. Thank you.
if I'm able to get inside
They're pushing hardcore.
and
Please don't.
a guy like runs through the portal after me, he's gonna eat a Caustic barrel as soon as he gets in. So this allows me to get back inside, immediately get back to my gear over here. I check that gold box as I'm running by to my loot. I didn't see, oh, boom, we have a purple armor now. I can take that gold that was on the Bangalore, and I'll have gold armor. Just looting up as fast as I possibly can. Gonna swap this gold armor off. I'm gonna push out. My teammates are fighting them right now. And then make sure I swap to auto on my Prowler. These are all the things where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab this, grab that, go on the way back, reload the Prowler, and then realize, hey, it's a Prowler. We got to swap that over to auto. So they're able to get a lot of damage on him, and I know that he's headed for this portal. I know he was looking at me. He barely missed the portal. That gave me an opportunity to get the knock on him. I wanted to get the knock on him before he got to the portal. It's focusing him, doing a lot of damage on that Gibraltar, realizing, yo, I just only need a few more shots to get that knock. Instead of swapping off to another target, try to get one person down. Often people ask me in situations where it's like a 1v3 or, you know, you're outnumbered. Use cover to your advantage. What did I do? I was using that wall. I was making it so I eliminated every other angle. I was able to fire mainly just on that Gibraltar. No one else has a shot on me. Eliminate their teammates' ability to help them using cover. Very good tactic when you're fighting a 1v3 situation or outnumbered. Use cover to your advantage. Try to take that person out. Make it a 1v1 between you and them, and then move on to the next. Or maybe at that time, it's like, okay, we need to back up, we need to heal up. But the thing is now you have them knocked. Now their teammates have to make the decision. Do I go for the res here, or do I try to keep it in a 2v1? If they keep it in a 2v1, well, you're in a better situation. You only have to fight 2 players instead of 3. If they go back for the res, what happens then? What happens then, they made it a 1v1 on you for at least the amount of time until they have to get that guy back up and meted up, right? So if someone goes and reses him here, I know that I'm 1v1 now with this lifeline. So I'm going to move on to the lifeline now. I'm also paying attention to anywhere that like another teammate might be. Something I should have been doing is paying a little bit better attention to the kill feed as I was getting rezzed going into the building and back out. That way I would know if my teammates already had a knock or what was the situation going outside and being taking on this team. So immediately swap over to the lifeline. I know that, hey, I've got this lifeline low. I broke the armor. I had the Peacekeeper. She's close. I could, if I land a good shot here, I can eliminate her, make it a 1v1 after this. And I'm able to do so. Also, my teammate there helping me out, helping me get those shots. Good job, Caustic, in that situation. All right, now I know it's just this Wraith, right? It's just this Wraith. My teammate is firing on him. And I'm going to start hitting a battery behind this wall. This Wraith's going to have to push me and push into my Caustic, into my teammate in order to get to me if she wants to get this knock.
Eyes are fucked, let me tell you.
Also, in this situation, I was obviously very confident. Going to those situations at the end of the game, man, having confidence and believing like I can do this, you know? At least giving yourself the opportunity, like the opportunity in your mind that, hey, we can take this team out. We still have an opportunity to win, right? So now, reload my weapon. I had heard as I was looting up that this Wraith had pushed back here. I know my Caustic is healing, and I thought at first I had heard her back behind this wall. And obviously she had to heal, right? I thought she might be healing back here, but then I see, oh, she's not here. And I know that the lifeline's knocked, and I don't hear her moving around me. I don't hear her healing around me. So immediately I think, where did she go? She might have taken that portal. And not only did she take that portal, that likely the Gibraltar took the portal as well. So I'm like, oh shit. She's probably rezzing this Gibraltar. I don't have much time. I need to push through here. So I push through. Immediately I find this Wraith. I'm able to get the knock very quickly on her. I'm immediately moving back behind these trucks for cover, and then eventually into this building and closing the door so that I can heal up. Also, I have now made it 100% a 2v1 situation. All my Cossack has to do is come through that portal behind, and it's a 2v1, right? So if I just buy time now, more time I buy, the Cossack can likely get to us and help us out in this situation as well. Also, the reason the Gibraltar didn't initially engage me, he still has to heal up. I was able to get there fast enough that they just barely got the res off, but he hasn't been able to heal, so he's healing. So you listen to that? Boom, he just barely got his probably battery, Phoenix off, whatever he's hitting. So I know now he's likely back to full HP, or he might only have his shields up. So I'm pushing into the house this way, boom. I'm pretty much completely safe. The only thing this Gibraltar could do right now is throw a thermite on me. He'd have to thermite me.
Found him.
I'm paying attention. What is this Gibraltar doing? He's going for the res. I know that I'm going to be able to get my med off with gold armor faster than he's going to be able to get this res. And even if he gets the res, the Wraith's going to be on like 1 HP. So I can push back out there and get the re-knock.
You can try to get him up, but it's not going to matter. It's not. It's really not going to fucking matter.
So I push out. I immediately go for the shots on the Wraith. Even though I'm hip firing, I'm not trying to hit this Gibraltar. I'm focusing, let's get this Wraith re-knock. She's very low HP. I'm only going to have to hit her with a couple bullets. She's going to go back down. I can keep it a 2v1. And then I swap over to the Gibraltar. He's having to reload. I'm then going to use cover to my advantage here. And, I mean, he's trying to push up on me now. And the fight's already over at this point. I have cover. He doesn't. I have a shotgun. He's out in the open. There's no way he's going to really end up winning this.
Try it! Try it!
And look at, we bought enough time. So even if the Wraith gets away in that situation, if I'm just buying more and more and more time, we're able to fight the Gibraltar. He's not able to get away. It's still a 2v1. We take out the Gibraltar, and then my teammate shows up. So it's going to end up being, like, we've got that covered just by buying more time in that situation. Realize those situations where maybe sometimes you don't have to win the fight. You don't have to get the knock. But if you just buy enough time for your teammate to get there, you got help coming. This can greatly tip the fight in your favor. All right. GG. So, yo, big shout out to our Cossack Wraith there. They did very damn well getting the pickup, getting into the action, helping. There was so many different situations there where they helped out. We had some good teammates. Even though like maybe they didn't have an insane amount of kills or damage, they did some of these small things that ended up being a huge factor in that game. So shout out to them as well. All right. So, let's finish the video. Maybe I'm going to answer like maybe 3 questions or something. Any questions you guys have regarding the game or questions in general that maybe you're wondering about, I can clarify on a little bit more to help you guys out and anybody else over watching on YouTube. Any question regarding the game? When do you know when to push for a knock in a 1v2 or a 1v3? Russ, that's really about gauging the situation and realizing where their teammates are at. You don't want... So, say in that situation, the Gibraltar was able to get through the portal, right? I'm not going to overextend to that portal. Or maybe I am, depending on the situation. So, if I knew that, you know, the Wraith and the Lifeline are very split from the Gibraltar, I know he's one shot and he made it through the portal. What's something I could do? I could fling myself to that portal, not take a whole lot of damage, get through the portal. It's definitely a 1v1 against a Gibraltar that's low then, and I'm able to take him out. I could then either come back through the portal, you know, and rejoin the fight at a different angle. It's just realizing the situation and the opportunities that you have. If that Gibraltar is able to get around the wall, I can maybe fling myself as Pathfinder in. Say I'm not Pathfinder, though. I'm not going to overextend in that situation and try to get the knock on him and have to run past the Lifeline and the Wraith because I'm likely going to get screwed in that situation. Just by doing enough damage there to get him low and forcing him back to heal, you buy yourself a little bit of time, right? where you make it a 2v2. So being able to take advantage of now that time where it's like it's a 2v2 now. Let's like maybe really push hard on these last two guys while this other guy's healing up. Maybe let's focus, then move a little bit more around the wall and just focus the lifeline and get the knock on her, right? And then get back and heal up as the guy's, you know, healing up and having to push back into the fight. It's about finding these little like pockets of time and opportunities that you buy yourself within the fight that you can get like different options. So don't overextend for a knock and get yourself knocked, because that's not going to help you. But if you're able to do a lot of damage to someone, even if they're able to get away, realize, okay, I have an advantage. Well, I bought myself a 2v2 for about 10 seconds right now where this other guy's going to have to heal up. And now you can maybe take advantage of that. Or maybe it's like, hey, well, I wasn't able to get that knock. These guys are already here. They're in a good position. Let's heal back up. Let's try to reset this. Maybe we can get some grenades in there. Maybe we can adjust our angle. Maybe and get another knock. It's realizing you don't want to get too greedy and lose the game or get yourself knocked because of it. Take advantage of the opportunities or the advantage you got by dealing the damage to the enemy. If you're able to get yourself, it's not a huge risk and you can get the knock, You know, it's really something that comes through experience, but I hope me explaining that a little bit helps paint a better picture for you, and so that when you get in those situations, you kind of realize your options. Or a good thing to do whenever you get in those fights, and this could work if you're recording your gameplay, or maybe you just think back and be like, did I have an opportunity in that to get that knock? Should have I pushed for that kill? Or maybe I should have waited. You know, you can start gauging that, and by gauging that and figuring out what is likely the best decision, when you get in those situations in the future during the game, you're going to make better decisions because of that. You show the damage report. It was about 3,000 damage, 16 kills. And our teammates had roughly about 600 damage each with both about 2 kills. How do gold backpacks play into the push while reviving aspect? You know, Yeezy, often I assume that they don't have a gold backpack. That's usually the play that I make, because often they're not going to have a gold backpack. And, you know, even if there's one person on their team that has a gold backpack, it's it's unlikely a lot of the time that they're the one maybe going for the res. It's one of those things where if you get a knock and then you fire on the guy that immediately got picked up from the knock and you see that he's already got shields, then you know, okay, that guy does have a gold backpack. Then you can assume whenever he gets the res that the guy's going to get up with gold backpack health. But what I just do naturally is more times than not, they won't have the gold backpack, so I play as if they don't have the gold backpack when they're getting the res. Also, obviously, on your team, if you're able to be getting the res with the gold backpack, that can be something that really screws people up and screws good players up, because a lot of people think about fights, good players think about fights similar to how I do, right? So if you're able to get a res on somebody with a gold backpack, it's going to throw them off, or they might be screwed. Like, they might overextend and get that. They might think that, oh, I can just re-knock this guy. Then they see that he's already got shields, and they realize, oh, fuck, I just got myself into a situation where it's a 2v1 now. This guy's at least at half HP, and his friend's full HP. So, something to think about. How do you win fights when you're trapped in a building and you know they're coming for you? I'd highly recommend you check out Viss Teaches episode number 1, Just Sparks, where I funnel people like up a staircase or through a doorway. Trying to funnel people through like staircase, doorway, make somewhere where it's like they can't really all fight you at once, or they're gonna put themselves in a very bad situation if they push you. Like where you could maybe use grenades to your advantage, a shotgun to your advantage. I think that's a good way to handle that. It's like if you're in a building, where's the best spots in that building? It's also something where it's like if you start realizing buildings, different choke points, spots where you can position yourself to have an advantage if you're getting pushed, whether it be like right inside a door frame, up a staircase. There's different spots at the top of a zip line. Fire on them as they're coming up a zip line. There's different things like that where you can maybe tip things into your favor, make them so they have to funnel into a choke point or a bad spot. Is that going to guarantee you the win? No, but it's going to help maybe tip it in your favor a little bit more to the point that you could beat them. Last question. I'll do one more. We can't always have great teammates when playing with randoms. How would you have handled that situation if your teammates weren't helpful? I mean, you just got to do your best in whatever situation you're in, and hopefully your teammates do well. Try to help your teammates. Try to help your teammates help the team. Maybe you can just tell them a little bit like, yo, I'm push with me, or these different things in different situations. But it definitely makes it a lot harder. It's not like our teammates there were absolutely insane players, right? It wasn't like they were just going off and just killing everybody. But they made some smart moves, or at least a few moves that really helped us. And that's one of those things where if maybe you're not the best player mechanically or aim-wise, but just making a few different better decisions in the game, you can really help your team and help push the possibility of you winning that game even further. But when it comes down to it, if you don't have really good teammates, you just got to do the best with whatever you've got. Sometimes you don't have good teammates. Sometimes that makes it very difficult, but that doesn't make it impossible to win games still. If your teammates aren't good, it's still possible. You still got opportunities, especially if you get better as a player and you keep getting better and you try to help your teammates the best you can in those situations. You increase your odds of winning, and over time you'll win more games because of that. You'll have better experience because of that as well. But all right, that's gonna be the last question. Once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you've watched till the end of the video, I'm guaranteeing that you enjoyed the video, that you found at least one helpful thing in here. Hey man, if you drop that video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment, maybe share the video with somebody, will be greatly appreciated, and hope the video helped you.